Hey everyone, I thought I would do a little tutorial today about how I up pot my lettuces. I sowed all of these that you see here in one bigger pot to get them germinated, and then I up potted them into these more individual pots. And now since it's a little bit too cold still to be putting these types of lettuces out in the garden, I'm going to up pot them again because, as you can see, the roots are really starting to do their thing, and I don't want them to get root bound. And lettuces are one of those things that are really easy to up pot and get individual ones into a bigger pot. The way I do it is I just take, since they're pretty loosely sown in here, and this is the seed sowing mix that I use for this kind of thing, just to help it break apart easier. What I do is just sort of massage them very, very gently. You don't want to tear roots if you can help it. If you do a little bit, it's probably okay. They're pretty resilient. These little plants are very tough. But as you can see, I've got one out here, and you can see the root system is pretty extensive already, even for such a little plant. So what I do is I just take a pot like this, and I put a hole right in the middle there, and I just gently set it down in there and then push the soil around it. And now this little lettuce plant will have plenty of room to grow more root system before I actually plant it out. And then I just keep doing that with each one. And as you look at them, you would see that they all have their own little individual way of growing. There are actually two here. I'm just going to tease those apart just a little bit. This smaller one could probably go into a smaller pot because, as you can see here, you want to be really gentle with the roots and the stems. I usually hold them by their leaf, but as you can see, this one has quite a bit smaller root zone here. So I have these smaller, this is a 6-cell tray, and I'll just poke a hole in there and set it down in there for now. And that's all the soil it needs because it's quite a bit smaller. And then as you go on to the next one, you can see this one has quite a bit more. So I will take one of these bigger pots. It's a 4-inch pot, and I'll just make a hole there, gently set it down in there, and then push the soil around it. And then after I do all of these, I'll go through and water them just a little bit. This soil mix is damp, so it's got a good moisture content, but I'll water them just a little bit to kind of get rid of any potential air pockets or anything like that. But yeah, these really have they're getting a really extensive root system going here, and you want to make sure and help that you want these plants to be as healthy as possible for when you put them out in the garden. And I'll give them a little bit of fish emulsion solution as a fertilizer, just a little bit, because you want, and you could even use something that has a higher nitrogen level for fertilizing, because what you want to eat is the green part, and that's what nitrogen helps with. It helps grow the green leafy part. So they're small enough that I wouldn't over fertilize. You don't want to burn the roots or anything like that. You want it to be fairly diluted. So look at the package instructions and dilute maybe a little bit more than what they say. But yeah, it's super easy to up pot these, and you can do the same with most other not root vegetables, but other vegetables besides root vegetables, like tomatoes or peppers or anything like that. If you can't put them outside yet, but you want them to be in a bigger pot, you can totally do this. It's super easy, and like I said, they're a very resilient plant, and they will grow quite well doing this way. Like I said, I already did it once, and they have gotten quite a lot bigger. I did this when they were really tiny. They were way smaller than this one. So um, yeah, it's super easy, and it really does help benefit them if they have to stay in a pot for very much longer, so that their root system can just grow out instead of being cramped and suffering from nutrition deficiency. So it really does help. Try it out.